Last week in science, we looked at the different teeth in the human mouth. You did well at recognising different ones. A friend of mine who works in Warrington Museum has very kindly loaned us some different things. And if you have a look over here, this shows the development of teeth in the stages from childhood to adulthood. And interestingly, you can see here the actual teeth in a baby's mouth, which are stuck in the gums. They haven't yet come through the gums. When babies teeth, they call it teething, they push out and come out of those gums. And you can see here a set of milk teeth with some adult teeth waiting to push through. And again, this is further developed with some adult teeth, but more waiting to come through. And over here, the full adult set of teeth, including the wisdom teeth, which are the ones right at the back, which we don't really need anymore. These are all the roots here and the 32 teeth which an adult should have when they're complete. Okay, now I'm going to change this and I'm going to put a picture in here, because last week we started to look, we looked in quite a bit of detail at carnivore, herbivore and omnivore. And you all were very good in realising that carnivores' most important teeth are their canines, herbivores' most important teeth were their molars, and omnivores actually use all the teeth. So these colours show you the teeth. And a carnivore, the red ones, are the canines, although they do still have incisors. Now, have a close look at that. Incisors are a bit like a chisel. I'll just show you this chisel. It's a bit like a chisel in terms of it actually cuts off bits of meat or whatever that carnivores need, but also you can see them on a herbivore's teeth. And they also have incisors and they use them to snip the grass, okay? And here omnivores, like human beings, we use them to snip things like an apple, for example. So they're a bit like a chisel, those incisors, okay? And they're the blue ones. Right, I'm going to show you this knife, shows you a little bit like the canines. They're pointy and they're much more important for carnivores who just eat meat. And you can see they've got pointy teeth at the back as well, but they do have molars for chewing. You can see herbivores don't have much use for those, and omnivores like us have actually 2 of those on each side, 4 altogether. So canines, pointy and sharp like a knife. Now, the teeth most important to a herbivore are the molars at the back, and they're a bit like a potato masher. And they mash the food as we eat it, okay? So that's why you see lots of molars in a herbivore. Okay, right, I'm going to show you some skulls, some actual skulls. And the first skull I'm going to show you, I wonder if you can guess what animal it is. Right, here it comes. There. Now, if I open the jaw, you should be able to see these teeth here. And I wonder if you can tell what they mostly look like. Can you tell from what we've talked about? There are some incisors, can you see here at the bottom of the jaw, which snip things like grass. But most teeth in this skull are molars. So, did you guess it? Yes, this is a herbivore. Now, lots of people think it looks like a dinosaur skull, and it really does. But in actual fact, can you guess what herbivore it is? It lives on a farm, in fact, and up in the mountains and hills. This herbivore is a sheep. Okay, right, I'm going to bring you a new skull in now, so have a good look. Now, this one here, I'm going to show you from the front to start with, because this one has front-facing eyes, just like human beings. And can you guess from looking at the teeth what type of creature it is? If I open it carefully, you can see it's got molars at the back, it's got canines here, and it's got 8 incisors, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. So all the teeth groups are used here, and it looks very much like a human skull, but it's not. Can you guess what it is? If you guessed it's some type of monkey or ape, you were right. It's a chimpanzee. Now, the last skull I'm going to show you in this set is this one here. There we go. This is the biggest one. This is a real skull of an animal with these huge canines. So I think you can guess that this is not a herbivore like the first sheep. It's not an omnivore like the second chimpanzee. What type of animal do you think this is with these huge canines, and even these back ones are pointy? Yep, it's a carnivore. I wonder if you can guess what carnivore this is. I'll give you some clues. This carnivore is a huge cat and it lives in India, and it's one of the only cats that likes swimming. Okay, and have you guessed it? Stripy fur? Yeah, this is a real tiger skull. And if I show you inside, upside down there, that's the palate, and these are the pointy teeth at the back. You can see he's actually chipped one of his canines, or her canines, but that's the real skull. Okay, so let's move this carnivore, and I'm going to show you something else which I'm sure you can recognise straight away. This skull belongs to a bird, and birds have these long beaks, so they don't actually need teeth, and I bet you can tell by the shape of it what type of bird this is. Sometimes people actually associate it with having a new baby in the house. Any guesses? Okay, well, I'll let you know it's a stork. So well done if you guessed that. You can really tell, can't you? It's by the shape of the beak. Okay, and the last skull I'm going to show you just now is this tiny skull. Now, this little skull has got these teeth on the front. Now, they're supposed to be this colour. It's like a pumpkin sort of orangey colour. And lots of people think this might be a carnivore, but it's not. This is a little rodent, okay? If you guessed that, well done. A bit like, well, can you think of any? Like a beaver or other rodents like a rat. And this rodent is actually, can you see the label? It's a koipu. And that's the type of skull this is. Okay.